So in the past, there were different rules. As you recall, I was explaining that GDS, TDS, and to figure out the rate itself, you had to figure out your contract rate +2, and then compare that against the Bank of Canada rate at that point, which was 5.25. And the one that's higher used that. However, last year, even June, it was different. It was different based on insurability. So if it's insured, it was Bank of Canada rate or your contract rate. And if it's uninsured, it was Bank of Canada or rate +2. Now that's all changed. It's all the same now. It's all Bank of Canada rate, the grade of BOC rate, or your contract rate +2. But I'm going to show you what you had to do in the past, and which also now serves as an educational piece. So using the options menu right on top here, top right, let's get into some of these options and customizations. So the first thing you see is the stress test rule. So this was the important piece up to last year. But let's see what it has. So let's go in, and you can see that now there are 3 options: purchase, refinance, or quoted rate only. We're going to go through them. First step is purchase. So when you go in here, and you can see that right now I have turned off house over 1 million. So the house is less than 1 million. Down payment is less than 20%. And amortization is less than 25 because it's turned off. This means that it's an insured mortgage. As soon as I turn this guy on, it becomes an uninsured mortgage because the house is over 1 million. And if I turn on down payment over 20%, turn it on, means down payment is over 20%, but house is less than 1 mil, it's an insurable mortgage. It can still be insured. So in the past, these rules will actually change the rule itself. So insurability settings at that point was being controlled here. Now it's all the same. It's all, you can see right here, Bank of Canada or rate +2, regardless of what I turn on and off. It serves now as an educational piece to figure out what is the insurability. Okay, so that's for purchase. For refinance, if you had turned this on, it would be uninsured. You can see it turns on uninsured. And then there is the quoted rate only. So there are lenders like credit unions who don't abide by the stress test rule. So the 5.25 doesn't apply for them. So in those cases, you would use quoted rate only. So it doesn't do that comparison anymore between 5.25 and rate +2. It just does the qualification at the rate. So if I turn this guy on, we can see that I obviously get approved for much more because I'm not using the 5.25 anymore. So yeah, so the settings are here, and you can just turn it on and off. And let's turn it to insured and go back so that we can move forward. But that was insurability settings. Custom GDSs is very powerful because it's not always 3944. It depends from lender to lender. It depends on the person's credit. And really just the number 39 is 39% of the income. Just says the lender is willing to lend out, but only up to 39% of the person's income. If your credit is good, lenders is willing to take a risk and go even higher. So there are lenders who go really high, like 50%. So you can actually change it right here. And we have some default stuff here, 32, 45, 42. Some institutional lenders go with that. Some lenders go for 39, 44. And then you can add in your custom one. So you can just tap on custom and put your custom GDS, TDS in, and boom, it gets applied. You can read it right on top here. Maximum loan at 50/50 is 636. Very, very simple. Now, I didn't add any rental income. So this is in a situation where the person is looking to rent out this property or just wants to do a basement rental. So you can just add in the rental income they expect. And 100% of this doesn't get used towards the person's income. Different lenders have different rules again. So to configure that, all you do is you can either use in the options menu here, go to rental income. And there are really two ways of doing it. There's the add back and there is a reduce and add. Add back just takes a percentage of your rental income and adds it to your gross annual income. Reduce and add, again, takes a percentage of your rental income, but doesn't add it right away to your rental income. It tries to reduce your home expenses. It actually works out a better way. So you can actually compare the two using the tool. Different lenders, different rules. So and I can't tell you which lender is doing what. That's not my forte. But I know different lenders do different rules. That's why we have these options for you. So you have to know your lender. Reduce and add. So you can just switch them right here. And you can also change the offset, the percentage of which of the percentage of the rental income we're going to use. Some lenders do 50%, some do 80%. Some might even do 100%. And if you have something custom, just add it in here and it will use the custom percentage that you apply. So let's say I find a lender that uses 60% of the rental income. I can just add it in there. So yeah, so that is your rental income settings. And you can see them right on the keyboard toolbar as well. Right now it says reduce and add. I can just change it right from the toolbar. Let's do add back at 50%. Okay. So that is how the stress test will work. And now then there's also the option of excluding home expenses. So some lenders, again, they'll use, they do the normal GDS, TDS, 3944, and then they say, well, we don't care about property taxes, condo fees, and heat. So you can use that full amount towards your mortgage payment, which is amazing. So you can see the difference here. Let me set rental income to 0. You can just tap the options menu. And there's a switch, exclude home expenses. Boom. You can see what kind of impact it has. So I can jump from 636 to 762 just by excluding these home expenses. So again, I don't know which lender it does. I kind of have an idea, but it's for you to go and figure out which one is. We provide the tools for you to be able to configure them, but you have to do your research on your own lender, of course. And that's where you change the contract. Now for the credit unions, you can do this. You can go to stress test rule, change to quoted rate. And then down here below, there's a rate section. And you can see that the rate is 2.79, which also shows here the stress test rate. You can actually move this around and you can see what the person can get qualified for with a specific contract rate. And also, let me change it back to insured because I want to show you the switch between. We said it's going to use the contract rate +2 versus the Bank of Canada rate. The Bank of Canada rate right now is 5.25 and it's programmed into the app. Whenever it changes, we update that. You won't be able to set it right now, but if you actually want to set a higher amount, all you do is change your contract rate. So it's contract rate +2. Right now it's 2.8 +2, it's 4.8. It's still lower than 5.25, so therefore it picks 5.25. But if I change it, go a little bit higher, you can see at some point, once it hits, for example, 3.5, because 3.5 +2 is 5.5, now it's using 5.5, greater than 5.25. Whew. Yeah, that's quite a thing here. So I hope I didn't go too fast, but it's being recorded, so I'm going to send it out. You can walk through it again. Really, that's all it is to the stress test tool. We have info buttons next to each of these items. You can learn more. We have a whole section on this side here. You can learn more. And last but not least, reports. Yes. How do you share this information with someone else? Well, two ways. Take a screenshot. Very simple. Take a screenshot, bring it out, circle the area, say the property taxes are these, and just send it. Very, very easy. It's pretty cool too because you can draw on it. The other way to do this is send an actual report. So you can use the report button here. And you can see that the name of the scenario is week 10, but let me change that. Let me change it to my client's name, Steve. And I'm going to send it to Steve now. So here is the report. It lays it all out. You got your maximum loan, your qualifying rate, the GDS, TDS that we use, the insurability that we had set, income, whether if there was even any rental income, it will be included in here. You got your interest rate and then some home ownership expenses like property taxes, condo fees, etc. And if there are any other debts. It's very, very, very simple. This QR code is actually goes to your pro version. So if you send it to somebody, people scan this, it comes down to you. They will install your app. Yeah, so that's the report. And you can simply tap on share and share with anyone you like. I'm going to send it to, I'm actually not going to send it to anybody, but I'm going to maybe airdrop it so you can see it on a bigger screen. Yeah, let's do that. So I just airdropped it to my computer. So folks, that's it. That's the report right here. And you can, of course, download the PDF and you get notified if someone views the report. Let's see what else we have here. I believe we're done. Q&A.